quick shout out to my patrons. Without you guys, this wouldn't be possible, so thank you. Hey y'all, it's Kate from the Literary Apothecary, and today we're going to talk about Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell by Susanna Clarke. This book was totally different than anything I'd have ever read before. It was incredible. I gave this 5 out of 5 stars, and today I'm going to talk about what I loved and some things to watch out for if you're looking to read this book. So, this book essentially, if you bring it down to kind of one sentence to sum up the whole book, two magicians want to bring back magic to England, and they do everything in their power to get this done. And we go through some amazing magical feats, amazing friendships, relationships. Like, one of the things that I loved about this book was that Susanna Clarke weaved in the historical fiction so thoroughly that there was times when it was hard to know where the historical fiction started and where the just plain fiction started. It was so seamless that you didn't know which was which. We had historical figures like Napoleon and Lord Byron. His character was incredible. If you know anything about Lord Byron, you would appreciate his character in this book. He was hilarious. He was kind of one of the comedic side effects, releases from this drama-filled, action-packed book. We also get, the French Revolution. We get, these different types of wars that were happening in history, but with magic thrown in there. So it's like, what really if you aren't a scholar of global history, world history, or European history, French history, if you're not a scholar of that particular time period and the events that happened then, you, like me, would have no idea what's real and what's actually fiction. And that is part of the ambience of Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell, is that there's so much magic going on right in front of your eyes that you don't know what's magic and what's real life. And I absolutely love books like that because it makes you question everything. You question all the actions, all of the places, all the people. You don't know who's who and who's on what side, and it was just so much fun to read. Now, I will say, even though I gave it 5 out of 5 stars, there were some things that I want to caution readers to that might kind of affect the way that they read Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell. First and foremost, obviously, it is a humongous book. It is over 1,000 pages, I believe. So, to me, a lot of people would get turned off by big tomes. To me, that just means that this is a book that you take slowly. I read this over several months, and I cherished every moment of reading it. I was able to appreciate all of the moments that happened in this instead of trying to rush through it and get to the end. I also did an immersion read with this book, so the audiobook is absolutely fantastic, but one of the things that I did not like in the audiobook that helped in an immersion read was there are some footnotes in this book, which again will turn people away. I found the footnotes really great and really helpful, especially when they are talking about different magical texts, and then we get footnotes about those texts or about historical events that happened. We get footnotes to add to that ambience and that history and the scholarly feel of it. Some people think that you don't need those. Some people don't want them. Some people just skip right over them. The narration of the audiobook kind of read those as just part of the regular text, and it was, if you weren't following along with the physical text or the digital text, you wouldn't necessarily know where the footnote ends and the regular story starts up again. The narrator just kind of flows through them as if they're one cohesive text, whereas footnotes are supposed to be read separately. But I really appreciated the footnotes, just like I appreciate them in a lot of other texts. I think they worked to their purpose, but they add to the text. But like a good footnote, you don't necessarily need to read those in order to be able to appreciate and enjoy the novel as it is. There's also a lot of bad characters. If I thought harder, longer about it, I could probably come up with one or two good or maybe decent characters, but there's a way more bad, morally gray characters in this, and I really appreciated that. I liked that because we don't have that one character that's always good and comes to save the day. You don't know what these characters are going to do or what their motives are because they are morally gray, and even some of them are even bad. So you question every single character that comes around, and I really, really appreciated that. So that's kind of my quick 2 cents about Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell. Evie at She Was Only Evie had a really great discussion about this book with some other booktubers, which I'll link down below. If you've read this and you want further discussion, you want to see what other people think about it, go and check out Evie's discussion because it was absolutely fantastic. And I read this as part of a Shelf Space buddy read that Evie and I hosted, and I'm so glad I read it because it was just so good, so much fun. I love, like I said, I love the mixing of historical fiction and magic, and you don't know where one ends and where the other begins. So that's my review for Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell. 5 out of 5 stars. Excellent job, Susanna Clarke. It makes me want to pick up Piranesi by the same author. I've been told that they're very, very different books, but I still want to pick it up and just experience more of her writing. So if you've read Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell, let me know in the comments below, what was your favorite magical scene in this moment? And also, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you get notified every time I have a new video coming out. As always, my Patreon and my Discord information will be in the description below. There's no pressure to join either, but we have a ton of fun at both. Keep reading, and I love you all to the moon and back. Bye.